Now to the new details on the Israel-Hamas war. President Biden landing in Israel overnight to confer with Prime Minister Netanyahu and other Israeli leaders. The stakes could not be higher. There are fears of a wider war breaking out in the region and a humanitarian catastrophe.
Yeah, and this comes as Iran-backed Hezbollah is calling for another day of rage. ABC's Martha Raditz has more.
This morning in Tel Aviv, under immensely tight security with the threat of missile attacks high, President Biden emerging from Air Force One into the embrace of Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the two men expressing their support for one another.
I want to say to the people of Israel, their courage, their commitment, their bravery is stunning. It's really stunning. I'm proud to be here.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for standing with Israel today, tomorrow, and always.
Israel is poised for a ground invasion into Gaza after the slaughter of more than 1,300 people by Hamas. President Biden promising Israel help with whatever they need to defend themselves.
Israel, as they respond to these attacks, it seems to me that have to continue to ensure that you have what you need to defend yourselves. And we're going to make sure that occurs.
But this meeting comes after Gaza was rocked by a devastating explosion at a hospital. The Palestinians saying it killed at least 500. The Palestinians also blaming an Israeli airstrike, which Israeli officials strongly deny, blaming a misfired rocket on Islamic militants. President Biden, for the first time, weighing in.
I was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you. But there's a lot of people out there not sure. So we've got to overcome a lot of things.
But Biden is now grappling with the fallout from the hospital explosion, with massive protests around the world outside U.S. and Israeli embassies. The head of the Palestinian Authority, President Mahmoud Abbas, canceling his meeting with the president, Jordan's King Abdullah doing the same. And Iran's foreign minister tweeting, "The time has come for the global unity of humanity against this fake regime, more hated than ISIS and its killing machine. Time is over." But President Biden's wartime mission is not. While Biden says U.S. support for Israel is unwavering, the White House says he is asking tough questions of Netanyahu, making clear the Israelis must respect the law of war, provide humanitarian aid to innocent civilians in Gaza, and do everything possible to make sure this conflict does not widen.
Well, the grim tone of today's meetings between Biden and Netanyahu stood in stark contrast to their optimistic meeting just a month ago on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York, where Netanyahu marveled that a historic peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia seemed within reach.